All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is June 5th, 2025, and we got an interesting day ahead. We had data that kind of surprised people again and moved the bond market in relation to jobs. Jobless claims came in hotter. Continuing claims to jobs, jobless claims came in hotter. Continuing, and then you had, the trade deficit. That was actually a lot better than expected. Unit labor cost went up, and really, this is day number 2 of reacting to jobs data. It's like it's kind of moving, and then that got stuff off there, and then you see this big stick right here. Well, you remember that Trump-China call with Xi Jinping? Yeah, it already happened. And that's what we found out about like 5-10 minutes ago. They said that Trump and Xi Jinping, they got on a phone call and they already had that discussion. So I don't know if there's more to look forward to. I don't know the details. We waited all week, and yeah, there it is. But you got the data reaction. You have that. You have a little bit more on the schedule. You also got the ECB rate cut by Lagarde, but we have earnings with Broadcom and AI. We're going to hear potentially more about policy, spending, and trade. And Chad, we will see where it takes us on Friday, Junior. So I hope you're ready for it, baby. But good morning. What up, baby? Oh, yeah, Georgie, Dan, Tim Whitman, Caleb, Anza, PSC, baby, Ion, Kane, Cantalaje. Oh, there you go. The chat's going. Oh, what up, Samuel? What up, Tyree? Ivy, Mosby, George, Mr. Forrest Gump. YS, baby. What's going on? How you doing, Samuel? What up, Shaky? Mr. Edward, Jake, dude, the chat's going crazy. Oh, Alex said so. Me not you, bro. I can't keep up. Benson, Candy, Mark, Ligo, Brian, Chris. Oh, my goodness. JJ, what up, baby? What up, Andrea? Mr. Nacho, Blizzy, Adric, Godfather. Oh, that's how you want to go? Friday, Junior Chow. Y'all ready to go, huh? What up, Winnie? What up, Beans? Me, Nacho, the Forbes, Hector, D, baby. Oh, Mr. Abbas. How you doing, baby? What up, Long Term? What up, Cart? Oh, my goodness. Let's go. NVIDIA's biggest channel rival, Huawei, struggles to win at home. Oh, man. Y'all ready to go? Friday, Junior, baby. What up, El Coyote? So, Chad, let's have a good one, man. We'll see what today throws at us. Stay locked and loaded, and worst case scenario, your long time will take you to the promised land. Oh, yes, indeed. God willing. And here is Josh AI with the news. Christine Lagarde, thank you. U.S. stock futures waver as jobs data looms ahead. U.S. equity futures struggled for direction as investors awaited Friday's payrolls report following a series of data releases that offered varied signals on the health of the economy. S&P 500 contracts drifted, the yield on 10-year U.S. Treasuries steadied as Wednesday's bond rally faded, the dollar edged lower, stocks and bonds in Europe gained ahead of an expected interest rate cut. The wild swings in stocks that were sparked by the Trump administration's tariff announcements in April and subsequent rebound have given way to more subdued daily moves in recent weeks. The U.S. benchmark has remained largely flat since mid-May as traders assess the impact of the trade war on economic activity. Friday's jobs report is expected to show that growth in non-farm payrolls slowed and the unemployment rate remains steady, while the figures would chime with Wednesday data that showed a contraction in U.S. services and a deceleration in private hiring. Separate data earlier in the week unexpectedly showed a fairly broad advance in U.S. job openings. Consensus is for lower job creation, said Ulrich Urban, head of multi-asset strategy and research at Berenberg. I think there must be a big surprise to the downside for volatility to increase. The European Central Bank is set to cut rates for an 8th time later on Thursday. Another reduction is expected in September when trade talks with the U.S. should have concluded and fresh forecasts will reveal the full implications of the tariffs. The euro traded steady after advancing more than 10% against the dollar year to date. European stocks were on track for the highest close in more than 2 weeks. Some investors are warning that the current period of relative market calm could once again give way to volatility as uncertainty lingers over the outcome of trade negotiations between the U.S. and its biggest trading partners, and the full economic impact remains unclear. Bond markets are also closely monitoring the cost of Trump's signature tax bill, with some investors warning that the legislation is set to worsen the country's fiscal trajectory and debt commitments. Our bias remains to sell any rallies in U.S. bonds, said Mohit Kumar, chief European strategist at Jefferies International. We are concerned over the fiscal deficits and the willingness of the rest of the world to continue financing U.S. fiscal deficits. Japanese government bonds rose after an auction of 30-year debt was better than many investors had feared. Still, a bid-to-cover ratio of 2.92 at the offering pointed to a general lack of appetite for longer maturity debt. Corporate highlights: Anglo American PLC is about to begin a formal sales process for De Beers after receiving indications of interest from potential buyers that include 2 former chief executives of the iconic diamond miner. Trafigura Group warned that market volatility may not translate to opportunities for its traders as the commodity giant reported first half results that showed its dividend payments exceeded net profit. Procter & Gamble Company plans to slash as many as 7,000 office jobs over the next 2 years as the maker of Tide laundry detergent and Gillette razors seeks to improve productivity. Citigroup Inc. will cut its technology employee workforce in China by about 3,500 as part of its global simplification efforts. Wise PLC is planning to list its shares in the U.S., the latest blow to London's stock market. Chinese officials summoned the heads of major electric vehicle makers, including BYD Company, to address concerns about the long-running price war, Bloomberg News has reported. Wizz Air Holdings PLC plunged 26% in early trading after the discount airline reported earnings that missed estimates and refrained from providing a guidance, citing poor visibility. Auction angst: governments selling long-dated bonds might just have to get used to a lukewarm reception from investors. Weak demand for a slew of auctions of 20, 30, or 40-year bonds, among the longest maturities that countries tend to sell, has triggered a fresh round of soul-searching over the depth of demand for this type of asset. The yield on a global gauge of longer-dated sovereign yields has climbed to around the highest since 2008, another sign of tepid appetite. The US, South Korea, Australia, and Japan have all encountered poor demand in recent weeks. True, Japan's 30-year sale today turned out better than feared, helping to settle nerves ahead of upcoming US long-end auctions next week. But against a backdrop of historically high government spending globally, sentiment remains brittle. US business optimism slumps in clear pivot from Trump election. US business optimism has moved sharply lower, deepening a trend seen in the first quarter and marking a sharp reversal from the buoyant mood among executives after Donald Trump's re-election as president. Less than a third, or 27% of executives polled in May by the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants said they were confident about the economic outlook for the 12 months ahead, down from 47% of respondents in the first quarter and 67% in a survey conducted in the fourth quarter just after the U.S. vote. Elon Musk urges Americans take action to kill Trump tax cut bill. Elon Musk is on a mission to block President Donald Trump's tax bill after he tried and failed to convince Republican lawmakers to preserve valuable tax credits for electric vehicles in the legislation. According to a person familiar with the matter, the Tesla Inc. chief executive officer personally appealed to House Speaker Mike Johnson to save the tax credit, the person said, requesting anonymity to discuss a private conversation. The House version of the tax measure calls for largely ending the popular $7,500 electric car subsidies by the end of 2025 that Tesla has benefited from for years. Call your senator, call your congressman, Musk wrote in a social media post. Bankrupting America is not okay. In an interview with Bloomberg Television on Thursday, Johnson did not confirm whether Musk had approached him over the credits, but said the two would speak later in the day. Top overnight news, trade, tariffs. China's control of rare earth minerals puts U.S. in vulnerable position amid trade tensions. Axios. U.S. auto suppliers urge immediate action on China's restricted rare earth exports, fearing disruptions in auto parts production. Reuters. EU urges China to end rare earths export restrictions amid alarming situation facing Europe's auto industry. SCMP-FT. Higher tariffs on steel and aluminum will increase material costs for home builders, car manufacturers, and can makers. NY Times. Aluminum industry executives warn manufacturers may not be able to absorb latest tariff hike, threatening demand destruction. Bloomberg. C. Canada PM Carney holds off on retaliating against U.S. tariffs, citing intensive trade discussions. Bloomberg. Ahead of next round of trade talks, Japan reiterates demand for U.S. to remove tariffs. Bloomberg. U.S. says won't reciprocate if Vietnam removes tariffs, wants action on transshipments. Bloomberg. Hanoi responding with goodwill. Bloomberg. Washington. Elon Musk urges Republicans to kill tax cut legislation. Politico. Axios. Trump irked by Musk's criticism of tax legislation. Politico. Link. House Republicans are trying to appease Elon Musk, upset over their support for Trump's domestic policy bill. NY Times. Senate parliamentarian could strike out S.899 revenge tax provision, citing violation of reconciliation rules. Politico. Senate Republicans and White House at odds over potential changes to tax cut provisions in reconciliation bill. Punchbowl News. Senate GOP planning to include public land sales in their legislation to help fund tax cuts. Bloomberg. Trump GOP senators discussed reducing the $40K SALT deduction cap with differing views from House lawmakers. Bloomberg. Trump's administration is renegotiating Biden's semiconductor grants, with some potentially being cut for taxpayer benefit. Reuters. Trump signs proclamation banning travel from 12 countries following attack in Boulder, Colorado. Bloomberg. Link. Trump administration suspends entry for foreign students at Harvard for 6 months, citing national security concerns. Axios. Reuters. Biden responds to Trump's investigation announcement, denying allegations of cognitive decline cover-up. Axios. FT. Central banks. Fed's latest beige book reports decline in economic activity. Bloomberg. Minneapolis. Fed President Kashkari waiting on outcome of trade negotiations before deciding on rates. Bloomberg. Fed Governor Bowman confirmed by Senate as vice chair for supervision. Reuters. BOJ to consider slowing pace of bond tapering next year. Reuters. ECB set to deliver 8th rate cut, signals pause as inflation tamed but trade uncertainty looms. Reuters. Bloomberg. RBI expected to cut by another 25 BP on Friday as tariffs continue to cloud outlook. Bloomberg. Markets. Global funds rethink exposure to U.S. markets amid fallout from tariffs and escalating debt. FT. Japan 30Y auction met with weakest demand in almost 2 years. Bloomberg. Latest JGB auction reflects continuing run of poorly received bond sales globally. Bloomberg. U.S. small cap stocks entering a favorable season, historically outperforming larger stocks in June. Bloomberg. Corporate. Amazon developing software for humanoid robots that could ultimately replace delivery workers. The Information. Walmart says will continue communicating tariff impact with its stakeholders following Trump criticism. Bloomberg. IBM sought to acquire Informatica before its $8 billion purchase by Salesforce, highlighting competitive interest in the firm. Bloomberg. Split among U.S. automakers is hindering unified lobbying against Senate rollbacks of electric vehicle tax credits. Politico.
Apple's request to pause a court order allowing App Store developers to direct users to web purchases was denied. Bloomberg. Pichai announced Alphabet will continue expanding engineering staff through 2026, prioritizing human talent. Bloomberg. Procter & Gamble will cut 7,000 jobs, about 6% of its workforce, due to uneven demand. Reuters. DOJ reaches deal with Boeing to avoid prosecution for defrauding regulators, pending court approval. FT. Kimberly-Clark nearing a $3.5 billion sale of its non-North American tissue business to Brazil's Suzano Link. Economy. U.S. reducing consumer price data collection, raising concerns about inflation, data reliability among economists. NY Times. U.S. business optimism sharply declines, with only 27% of executives confident about economic outlook. Bloomberg. U.S. businesses cautiously optimistic about domestic tourism this summer despite signs of reduced consumer spending. NY Times. China services activity firms amid pickup in new business offsetting renewed drop in new export orders. Reuters. Bloomberg. German factory orders beat consensus in April, overcoming tariff concerns. Link. Bloomberg. Japan base pay accelerates but real wages remain negative. Bloomberg. UK government error in car tax data overstated inflation by 0.1 percentage points, affecting multiple indices. FT. Reuters. Geopolitics. Trump praised Ukraine's drone attack as strong, but fears it complicates his ceasefire efforts with Russia. Axios. Trump administration reallocating Ukraine's anti-drone technology to U.S. forces in the Middle East for urgent protection. Link. Putin warned Trump of response to Ukrainian drone attacks while calling peace talks useful. Reuters. Semaphore. Trump's attempts to negotiate with Putin, Xi, Iran not working, revealing challenges in securing deals with strong leaders. Bloomberg. Israel PM Netanyahu's government faces possibly of collapse following revolt by ultra-Orthodox coalition partners. Bloomberg. FT. Chinese hackers broke into U.S. telecom company in summer of 2023, earlier than publicly known. Bloomberg.
There's more. We didn't even move that much, too. S&P futures, they're little change Thursday morning, though off the pre-market highs, comes after U.S. equities finished narrowly mixed on Wednesday. Housing, semis, high short interest among the standouts, while dollar stores, EMPs, and regional banks lagged. Treasuries firmer with a bit of curve flattening following a big Wednesday rally that saw yields down 8 to 9 basis points. The dollar, we already went that. Dollars, little change. Gold flat off best levels. Bitcoin futures up by 0.8. WTI is up by 1.5. Not much concrete on trade, but market rose on Xinhua report of Trump and Xi holding the call this morning at Trump's request. Some contact had been expected, but no details available yet. Also comes amid recent focus on China's leverage via rare earth export restrictions. Some anticipation today ahead of Broadcom earnings after the close. Expectations and positioning is elevated in the May employment report on Friday. Multiple headlines about reconciliation, particularly in terms of differences between Senate Republicans and White House on potential changes to the tax cut provisions, along with lingering concerns about deficit implications. On the Fed front, market pricing in just under 60 basis points of easing this year following another batch of softer data on Wednesday. More discussion in the press about U.S. policy uncertainty as a driver of U.S. exceptionalist trade unwinding, while Street continues to flag potential headwinds from Section 899. On the economic front, U.S. trade deficit narrowed significantly month over month for April, improving more than expected. Weekly initial jobless claims rose more than expected to 247,000 from 239. Continuing claims were a bit higher. Q1 labor productivity was revised notably lower from the flash reading, while unit labor costs were revised higher. Elsewhere, Kugler, Harker, Schmid, Fed speakers today. President Trump meeting with German Chancellor Merz at the White House. Outside of U.S., ECB cut rates by 25 basis points, expected for the 8th time today. With cumulative easing now at 200 basis points for Europe. Looking ahead, Friday brings the May employment report. Non-farms expected to go up by 177,000. Amazon reportedly developing software for humanoid robots that could ultimately replace delivery workers. Costco comp growth decelerated in May, but still seen as solid with US 5.5. Procter & Gamble to cut 15% of non-manufacturing workforce over the next 2 years. KMB announced strategic partnership with Suzano International, valued at $3.4 billion. MDB Q1 and Q2 results guide better, raised full-year guide, boosted buyback and Street positive on customer ads. BFB missed on one of the key metrics, flagging reduced discretionary spending. CIEN revenue better, but EPS and margins missed. 5 beat, guided Q2 above. Rave full year guide and highlighted product selection, inventory management, and better in-store execution. PVH beat and guided well below Q2 and lowered full-year EPS guide to reflect tariff headwinds. PLB achieved first positive free cash flow and raised full-year guide. VRNT up on big Q1 beat with AI adoption, and WGO guided below on worsening consumer sentiment. Wow. Habibi, good time. We have to hurry, but good time still. Wow. So pre-market movers. You got MDB, they're up by 17%. Again, earnings and upgrades. SUZ is up by 3.4 to acquire majority stake in Kimberly-Clark's international tissue business. Dollar Tree is up by 2.0. JP Morgan upgrade. FCX is up by 1.9. Copper is up by 2. PL is up by 21 off earnings. VRNT 15 off earnings. 5 up 11 earnings. CFO change. Momo up 8.5 off earnings. KC up 8.4. Assumed buy at UBS. Nibis up 4.6. Initiated buy at already research. CBRL up 3 off earnings. Core up 2.9 presents data phase 2 study of dazucorilant in patients with ALS. MKDW is up 139. LIMN up 85, regains compliance with NASDAQ listing. ZJK up 54, production development update. Zena up 32, new drone as a service partnership. Cron up 26, terminates Cambridge leases, expects 18 million additional savings. BW is up 23, sells Diamond Power Unit for 177 million. CCIX up by 2.9, business combination with Plus Automation. Gold and silver stocks trading higher, trading lower. Brown Forman down by 7 off earnings. CIN down 4.7 off earnings. Core Weave down 3.4, initiated hold at already. Chewy down 2.4, Jeffries downgrade. PVH down 9 off earnings. COUR down 3.3, Morgan Stanley downgrade. PGY down 2.9, 2 million share being shot by Morgan Stanley. BV down 2.0, 11 million offering for holders. LTH down 1.8, 20 million offering. CBUS down 32, common stock offering. Fufu down 15 off earnings. ChargePoint down 14 off earnings. And KWM just down, and Kids down 3.7, listing transferred from global NASDAQ markets. Wow. Habibi. So, Chattadonia. That's it. Those are the plays. That's all that we got for the day. We got a lot more, baby. But other than that, it's game time. And do you know what happens here at the Colt? Oh yeah, I hope you know. Every single day, baby. Every single day, before we chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I am talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge special shout out, active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, even the families, for real. Thank you for everything you have given, and if anybody should be getting a long-term and profiting and benefiting off of all of this great country, it should be you, my friend. So let us help out at the bare minimum, but also at the real bare minimum. I hope all of you, whether you have served or not, I hope you could bring this culture to real life. I hope that we could honor those who have given so much more. You know, everybody talk about how crazy the world is. You want some healing? Start honoring those who have given up everything. And then we could talk about that. So really, though, all of you, young, old, it don't matter, man. When you get out there in the world, I really hope you could show this love and appreciation. Use your voice for the people who have already given up so much for our freedom, man. So veterans, the families, thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless every single one of you. And big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. Doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, anybody making their communities run. God bless you and thank you, baby. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Oh, it's game time, baby. Oh, no. Ho ho Adonia. And then you got Coinbase and Fannie Mae moving already? Well, welcome. Good morning. It's Friday, Junior. Stop it. Stop it. All right, baby. So, Chattadonia, I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling blessed. But, yeah, we got time. We got some plays and some other things. But, yeah, we got to move on over to Gen Pop. Are you ready? I think it might be time, bro. I think it might be time. So, that is our morning. You got all the news. Again, even yesterday, I hope you paid attention to the plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were asking. I saw one of them today. It was like Zena and then the core weave Nibis dynamic, but we were already prepared for that. Other than that, yeah, man, it's going to be a fun time. Don't force anything, though, today. Again, we already got a lot of headlines and all of that. So there's our morning, baby. Let's get ready for a beautiful 6 hours. I will see you all over there in Gen Pop. Thank you to the veterans. God bless America. And I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.